Hey, welcome back. Let's jump right back in it. So I did this offline just because I know it would probably be boring for people to see, but I have, before we just had one big index.html file, and now we've actually restructured it into a real maintainable code base. It's still JavaScript, so one other thing I'd like to do is another offline probably is that I will migrate this over to TypeScript. Again, offline though. For now, though, just to show the state of where we left off, we have a boss, we have a bunch of platforms, we can get there. Those platforms are described as a nice JSON format, so I can edit that without having to have the AI, and it's overall, it's getting to be a pretty nice thing. I'm sure at some point we're gonna reach the limits of what this format can do, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe each level is gonna have multiple. I don't want to over-engineer that for now. Today, what I want to do is I want to get to a point where we're working on more levels, and I'm debating, is it worth it? Is it worth it to just move on? Let's build the levels right now. Or what I really want to do is I want to have something like Mario World, if you've ever played that, where like when you start, you have a screen. You have a screen with like an overworld, and basically as you complete levels, their spot on the overworld, unlocks the next step, and you can move through the overworld. And like in this case, it'll be like a 2D overworld, and then you get dropped into these 3D levels. So in terms of what that's going to look like, I'm not that great of an artist. I think as one topic of discussion is like, people don't like AI art. I don't really like AI art. I definitely, by the time this game is completed, I will either have to figure out how to do art, which I'm not that great of an artist, to figure out how to do like the 3D art and then even the map that will work on a day, or more likely I'll end up having to pay someone to do that stuff for me, which is totally cool. I want to do that. I want to pay an artist to do it because when you pay an artist, you get like really good quality. For now, though, I think what we're just prototyping here, AI is good enough. So I'm going to use ChatGPT here to just try to generate something I have in my head. It's not going to come out perfect. It's not going to look at all like what I have in my head, but maybe for now it can be a decent start. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say generate me an image of an old style, image with an old style map aesthetic. Okay. Make the center of the image a white sphere sun looking object. Okay, and then have spirals of black coming out in all directions. Let's say, we're gonna redo this. Like I said, I'll probably pay someone to do this, but I wonder to start, if I was gonna say like I want to have this many levels. I wonder what it would be. Would it be? I don't want to do four. Definitely don't want to do that. But let's say if we do 8. We could do 8 for now, right? And then we just update it later. I think that's pretty typical. Again, that's like it's converging on something like Mario, but I think Mario, Donkey Kong, like they usually would have 8 worlds with the eighth being the final. So maybe let's not do 8 for now. Let's just say 6. Make 6 spirals in total. Make them flatter than an S, but still a bit curved and S shaped. Okay. Ensure this is all two-dimensional. Yeah. And make it 4K. Let's see how well it does. Okay, nice. This is not exactly what I had in mind, but it's pretty close. This is close, but let's remove the compass and the 2 info boxes around it, around it. We'll just do that for now. This is fine. All right, this looks pretty good. I think we'll just roll with it. I say we just roll with this guy, save image as, right, and then here we have source. Maybe we can add like a new folder, media or assets, and then we'll just call this like overworld prototype. It's a .png, whatever. All right, and then in here, so now that we have that, now we'll come over to this. And what I want to do here is let's think of how we want to prompt for this system to be created. And good thing about prompting, I turn it plan mode and just kind of think through what I want to do as I type out. But basically, I know I want the overworld, but we need to think that should be structured as a JSON. So we'll say like maybe we'll just create a JSON to start. Let's say a new file. Okay, overworld.json, and then this will just be a list, right? This will just be a list. This could get a little painful here. This will just be a quick list, and we just want to do like, no. Stop this. No, we're just gonna say it doesn't need a name. Oh yeah, this can have a name. This can be name, and we'll just call it level 1 to start. And it does say like level, oh, yeah. Location, and then we will just do, I don't know, like 100 and 100 to start, right? And maybe we could also have a color. Maybe we could have a color for now. Let's not worry about that. Let's just get something working to start. So we'll have this, and then you know what I mean. Like this we'll have everyone here, and then we can draw it where they're gonna be, and then yeah, I'll need to think that through. How do they connect to the previous one? Can be tough. But maybe let's just get something that works. Right now, all I'm worried about is can I get 3? Can I do like a first level, a second level, a third level, and walk from one to the other? So I can even just have it like, okay, I got to beat this one to get to the second one, and then like completing this one unlocks the second one. Now we're going to run into like how does the state work? For now, I think it can be stored internally, but we're about to have to add a save file. So things are going to get a little more complicated quick, but that's because we're actually getting to a point where we have like a playable game. So for a plan, say we have a new data file, data/overworld.json. Okay. This is a descriptor of a new feature, the main overworld, that shows up when the game starts. Okay. Right. And so yeah. This overworld should display as its background the file assets slash, what did I call it? Overworld prototype? Yeah. Overworld prototype.ping. Okay. And then for each level, let's just get to where it can do this. For each level in the overworld file, we will display we're going to say a gray circle, 50 by 50 pixels. Let's just, if we could just get to there, right? And then we can add like the moving around. Let's do it. Let's see what it does. Okay. Okay, looks like I named this wrong. So rename it. When a player clicks a level, I hate the way they do this question. It used to just be like a conversation. I hate that they do this. When a player clicks a level, circle on it, what should happen? Nothing for now. When should the overworld appear? Before or as an overlap on top of the, okay. Before the 3D game. Okay. Separate screens entirely. For the 3D game, separate screens entirely. All right, let's let it do its thing. All right, we have a good plan. Maybe we have a good plan. Let's see. So we want to rename for sure. Add a. This seems wrong. Div as the first div above the 3. No inner content. Circles are injected by JS. Okay. I'm going to push back against that one. This seems wrong. So for number 2, this seems wrong. The two things should be a single game, just different screens within the game. Why would we need to have an entirely separate 3JS? I guess maybe because it could be that 3JS is only for 3D, but that wouldn't make sense. Like 3D is a superset of 2D, right? Could be. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's the user point of the overworld should be a separate. On top, it should be integrated in the same. The overworld would just be a different screen. Let me reconsider the arc instead of Different screen state in the same. Yeah, I think that's what it should be. You're right to flag that. Okay. Work exactly like the existing win and dead overlays in. No, I don't like that. No, this is wrong. I'm just gonna stop you. Come on, stop. No, this is wrong. This screen will be playable in a second. It isn't an overlay. An overlay. It's a different aspect of the game. Why is it this stupid? Why is it all of a sudden stupid? I think it's because it's still 4.6. I don't know why my. Maybe we'll try to use Codex for now because I don't yet have access to. There, I don't have. There's no Sonnet 4.7 yet, I guess, and I don't yet have access to Claude Opus here. I have it through Claude Code. I don't have it here, and I'm not. If I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it through Claude Code. So, 2D should. How should it be rendered? Let's try this guy. I don't know. The canvas is probably the easiest way to do it, but then that starts to get complex. So I don't want to do that. How does the player navigate the world? Okay. The player is out of scope for now. Just display the overworld. Static. All right, let's see if it's doing a little bit better. Okay, rename, create overworld scene, no fog, no dark background color, create a size of the window, right? Load asset for sure, import overworld, yep, same. For each level entry, create a circle geometry plus basic mesh, convert the world space, handle window resize, update for sure, yes, export, yeah, wire into animate loop, import the overworld at the top of the main. Is overworld active? Okay, for sure. Call show overworld once before the. Yep, that sounds pretty good. Maybe this is not the best way to handle this, but I think it should work for now. It'll get more complex as we start to think about, like, we drop in and then when we win we drop out. What does that look like? But that even should work for that for now. I think we're good. Relevant files, right. Okay, let's do it. Okay, says it's done. Let's give it a try. It's happening. Okay. All right. So this guy is here. Nice. So now what we want is maybe this guy to start like right here, and then you'll like walk up. I don't know. Maybe there's 3 here or something. I don't know. Let's just try that. So really what we want is that to be down. And that should be pretty easy to. It's X. So Y. X, Y. Move this guy over here. Okay. Maybe that needs to be like 1,050 or something. Yeah, okay. And then move this over 400, I guess. Now, this is another thing. Like, I think a next step in the next couple of Pomojos, we're going to be building a tool to let us, like, just drag and drop this stuff. 800, maybe? 800, okay. Nope. 1,050. Maybe they're both almost 11. Maybe. If I wanted to be down here, I feel like this is probably over. Now the Y can just go to like 1,200 or something. Okay, that's too much. Maybe 11. And not quite. 1120. Let's drop that here. Now I wonder what would happen if I. That seems right. If I was to do this. Yeah, it's totally off now. Okay, so that's something we need to think about. That's something that it needs to improve. Okay. Huh. Okay. The circle is currently not relative, so if I resize the screen, it draws in a totally different place. Yeah. Okay, let's see now. Is it any better? Okay, that's way. For now, let's go back to the 100 by 100. How are we with this? Okay, I just don't see it at all. Oh. Right. Okay. Circle just doesn't appear at all now. Okay. Does it actually show up now or? Nope. Okay, I think we're gonna be reaching a annoyance. Oh, okay, it's not actually done yet. It's not actually done. Apply to render, check, no problems found, red overworld. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nope, whatever it did definitely did not solve the problem. What did it do? Okay, well, it's hard to say because it's like just rewriting everything. This is the overworld. Build nodes, color, user location. Okay, this seems like it's not relative though, right? Like it's just putting my location directly there. Oh, okay. See, here's its. See. Okay, there we go. Now we have one. Find your site may be viewpoint author rather than image, but so the image. Okay. So like even for this guy now, if I do 100, don't do that. What happens? Okay, that's still pretty good. So now let's say 1,000. What? This is getting on my nerves. All right, let's try it. Now it's way off. So 500 by 500? No, not 5,000. 500. Maybe? Fingers crossed. Okay, here we go. But now I just want to test quickly. Does it? If I go like this. Okay, it generally stays in the same spot. Not really. Not really. That's a problem. We need to think of a solution to that. Is it worth spending a lot of time on that today, though? I don't think so because this is totally going to change by the end. So I don't think it's worth spending a lot of time on. But it does. Maybe what we need to do is we need to break this up into sections. The size of this. The size relative to this. I think there's an easy algorithm here. Like we break this up. Instead of by pixels, we could make cells, right? And then the cells are always the same. No matter the size of the screen, this thing. No matter the size of the screen, we have the same number of cells. And that way, if I drop it in cell like 8 by 8, it's always going to, like, let's say this is 8 by 8 here. That's about the same size. We'll call it like this is 8 by 8 here. It's always going to be 8 by 8. I don't know if it's worth doing that today. We only have a couple minutes left, and I'd like to be able to actually jump into this guy. Yeah, I say let's just move. Let's just see can I actually get what I want here. So now what? Okay, it's visible. It's visible. Now what I want? Let's add the player. Let's add the player. Actually, before that, can we add? Let's do a level 2. We don't actually have a level 2, so I don't know if it's gonna fail here. But we'll say like level 2, level 1, and then this will be like. This is the X, so we'll say 600, right? And then if I come over to this guy, what happens? Okay. Okay, now what I want, let's add the player. The player should be a blue circle, a bit smaller than the gray ones, and should bounce as we wait just a few pixels up and down. Make it smash a bit as it jumps. Okay. When the player moves the up arrow key, the ball jumps to the next circle in the list. Okay. Down arrow moves it back. Okay. The player should be displayed right above the gray circle, not directly on top of it. The gray circle, it's currently focused on, not directly on top of it. Okay. If the player is on a circle and presses the space bar, we then enter that level. That makes sense, I think. We'll see. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be hacky, but we can always improve this stuff over time. What's important is getting something. In software, it's always like get something working, iterate, refine over time. So this lets us test, like, can we enter a world? Can we play that world? Can we move on to the next? And then once we have that system in place, It's like, dude, same with the boss. Like the boss works. It's crappy, but it works. But like, I'm more interested in can we have a full game and then come back and polish rather than polishing everything kills momentum, and that's less fun work than just moving quickly. Like let's move quickly and then polish once we have something and maybe something that other people would want to play. All right, so it says it did things. The overworld now has a control. All right, let's see. Does it really? Okay, nice. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So if we were to then, I just want to test what this looks like. If I now put this, this is almost over, but let's say, wait, maybe it is. If we go all the way down, let's make this like 550, 700. I wonder what it does if I just go down like this. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. So then let's get these two right here, and then I think we could probably call it. Let's get this two down. This needs to be like 900, right? 9, I said 925, 570. How's this look? Still doesn't seem like it moved very far. 600. Try this out. That's like hardly moving. That's crazy. All right. 975. Come on, dude. I'm gonna end up back at the 950 where it just was a second. Okay, there we go. And then let's move this over to 650. Okay, we'll call that. And then this guy can do something similar. We're gonna put him at like 725, 900. Right? Almost. 850, 900. Okay. Yeah. 825, 900, right? Okay. All right, we're gonna leave it at that for now. So this guy, that might break, but if I come here, cool, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I mean the vibes, the aesthetics do not go together at all. So I need to upgrade the other map, make it more cartoonish. But I think we can call this for today because this is pretty cool. All right, and then we just start here. There's no way to get back to the overworld. So, but we're at time, so I'm gonna call it. And this, yeah, this is cool. At least we have an overworld now. Now we're going to need to figure out we need to save the state. We'll probably just do that in a simple JSON file or something for now, but we have an overworld. We can add more levels. So next time I think we'll start working. I don't want to say for sure. Each time I've just been starting and vibing as I go, but I think we might start adding like, let's see if we can add 3 levels where the third one has the boss or something. Awesome. Thanks.